Joining me now is one of the co-sponsors of that Senate bill, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Senator, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Why is this important?
It's enormously important. I think it's vital that everybody in America understand that what's going on in Yemen now, Brett, is the worst humanitarian disaster facing this planet. We're talking about in the last 3 years as a result of the Saudi-led intervention in the Yemen civil war. We're talking about 85,000 children already starved to death. We're talking about imminent starvation for millions more. We're talking about 10,000 cases of cholera breaking out every single week. We're talking about a generation of Yemen's children who will be stunted physically and intellectually because of the famine that is now existing. So we have got to end that. Furthermore, I think we have got to say to the Saudi government, which is a despotic government, which allows no dissent, which treats women as third-class citizens, that we are not going to follow their military adventurism into Yemen. And the last point as to why it's so important, and people like Senator Mike Lee, conservatives have been making this point, and progressives, is that for decades, under Republican presidents and Democratic presidents, Republican Congresses, Democratic Congresses, the Congress of the United States has abdicated its constitutional responsibility over war making. It is not the president who has the responsibility under the Constitution to send our troops off to war. It is Congress. We have got to take it back.
And Senate Majority Leader McConnell mentioned the constitutional fight potentially with the executive branch over war powers that this may spark from his point of view. But I want to talk about President Trump last night with Reuters on the issue of Yemen. He said this, quote, "I'm much more open to Yemen because, frankly, I hate to see what's going on in Yemen, but it takes two to tango. I'd want to see Iran pull out of Yemen, too, and I think they will." I guess the question is, the Houthis in Yemen launched more than 200 Iranian-made missiles into Saudi Arabia. How would you propose to deal with that?
Look, the issue is not only getting U.S. out of the war led by Saudi Arabia, but we have got to do everything in our power, and we have the power to bring the Saudis and the Houthis together to end the incredible destruction which is taking place. No doubt about it. The Houthis are playing a very bad role in Yemen as well. But I think most experts will tell you that the bulk of the destruction has been caused by the Saudis. But bottom line is, we have got to end that war, not perpetuate it. And we have got to work with the rest of the world in providing humanitarian aid to the children of that country who are now starving to death.
Senator Sanders, here is the Secretary of State today on the murder of Khashoggi.
The Saudis have already paid the price. There are the folks who actually committed the murder we've held accountable. We will continue to do that. No one underestimates how horrible this murder was. But remember, Iran is running rampant throughout the Middle East. The death of any one individual is awful. The death of hundreds of thousands of people in Europe or the Middle East or the United States matters an awful lot. And President Trump is committed to protecting America.
So the question is, if this relationship falters, do you risk changing the national security outlook for the Middle East from a U.S. national security point of view?
No. Look, above and beyond the humanitarian disaster in Yemen right now, let me be very clear. We have been in Afghanistan for 17 years now, and I do not want to see the United States get sucked into a never-ending war, costing us, our brave men and women in the military, and trillions more dollars, get sucked into a Middle East war between, on one hand, Saudi Arabia, and the other hand, Iran. What we need to do is use our clout on Iran, on Saudi Arabia, to bring these people together to say, you know what, we're not spending trillions of dollars more. We're going to help bring peace to that entire region.
I want to talk about two more topics with you, Senator. And one is the president says if there's a shutdown and he's fighting for border security, he'll take that because he wants $5 billion to fund a wall. Do you think this can get done, number one? And number two, do you think the border security is important?
I think border security is enormously important, but I think building a wall is a very costly and inefficient way to do that. And I'm not alone. I mean, many experts think that given the kind of technology that we have that today we can protect our southern border without building the wall and spending $5 billion. Furthermore, Brett, I'm not quite sure. He may, but I'm not quite sure that he has the votes in the House to do that.
Yeah, but Senator, in 2013, you voted for comprehensive immigration. That included $18 billion for a wall and border security. So you're saying the $5 billion is a non-starter?
Well, I'm saying that you have $5 billion as part of tens of billions more for a wall. What I'm saying right now, sometimes you vote for things that are part of a broad package. But if you're asking me, at a time when we have veterans sleeping out on the street, seniors not making it on $12,000 a year Social Security, that it's a good investment for the taxpayers of this country to build a wall? No, I don't think it's a good investment.
All right, I want to end with this. Your party, where do you think the energy is in your party? Is it towards your progressive side of the party, or do you think the party is in search of? MoveOn.org had a 2020 straw poll yesterday. The top five leading as a person, a candidate potentially, is Beto O'Rourke, and then Joe Biden, and then you. MoveOn obviously supported you throughout 2016 significantly. Are you concerned that the party is changing?
Do I think the party just won 40 seats in the House of Representatives and 7 governor's chairs? I think that it's not just the party. It's that conservatives, progressives understand there's something wrong when we have a dysfunctional health care system, that we should have health care for all, that we should raise the minimum wage to a living wage, that we should rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, that we should end the incredible greed of the pharmaceutical industry, who are ripping us off every day by charging us the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. That's not Democrats. That's not Republicans. That is what the American people want. And I'm going to do my best to push an agenda that addresses those and many other issues.
Can a Texas congressman who lost his Senate bid win your party's nomination for president?
Well, you gotta. I think it's a little bit premature. We got a little bit of time left before that.
When do we get your decision whether you're going to do it again?
Well, when you're going to take on Wall Street and you're going to take on the drug companies and take on the insurance companies, before I decide that I want to run, I got to make sure that there is that grassroots support, and that's what we're ascertaining. If there is, I'll run. If there isn't, I won't. But we're taking on big time some of the most powerful special interests in this country.
Senator Sanders, we appreciate your time. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you, Brett.